What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tell Me More podcast presented by Major League Success. I have Wayne Henry with me. He is the broker of 43 Homes. And Wayne, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join me.
Hey, appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
I'm looking forward to kind of diving in and sharing your journey. I know we've been social media friends, right? Acquaintances, but
Yep.
never really had the opportunity to connect, which I love, honestly. Doing this type of podcast with not really knowing the person on the other side, because as we go through these conversations, we can dive in a little bit deeper. But Wayne, I always start with the beginning.
Yep.
Growing up, what was life like? Lead me up to through your high school years.
Sure. So yeah, I think I was just the average Midwest guy. I grew up here in Columbus. Guess technically Grove City, if you will. And Grove City wasn't what it was these days. Back then we had to go other places to go get something to eat. So they've got lot more stuff going on down there. So went to Grove City High School, went on to college at Ohio State, did the OSU marching band thing, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty normal guy. Not too much exciting going on early in my life. Really a music guy. I was music major in college, and the band guy in high school and all that stuff. So
No, that's awesome.
it's interesting how life takes its turns, and here we are.
Yeah, it's well, definitely, Grove City. I mean, talk about the development that's happening down there. They just announced a huge, another development that's going to happen. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm assuming as a real estate agent, eh, you're probably for a lot of the development going on, but I grew up in a small town. I live in Pataskala now, and so I'm close to Intel and all of that. But that small town mindset kind of really hinders some of those developments. And obviously for us in the real estate side, we're like, yeah, let's go, more development, more buyers, more sellers, more houses.
Yeah. So I mean, development. I mean, Columbus. Some family in town, and we were talking yesterday. They're seeing all the construction and stuff going on. We're booming around here. My only
Yeah.
lament is I miss the days where we could get anywhere in 15 minutes. Now it's more like 30. So, but I'm all for it. Bring it. Let's do it. So,
What got you into music? What got you into that side of thing?
you know, I wish I had a good answer to that. Like most people have like a parent that's, musically inclined. They came around to us in 6th grade and said, "Here's all the different instruments. If you want to play an instrument, have one by Friday." And some things never change. I've always been a little bit of a procrastinator, and I remember telling my dad on Thursday, "Hey, I have to have a trumpet for school tomorrow." And he said, "What?" And so the music store was closing in an hour, so we ran down the street to the local music store. He got me the trumpet, and I don't know. It's amazing how one little decision changes your entire life. But that trumpet took me around the world. I got to do things and see things that most people never get to experience. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something I found to be a nice outlet. I don't play anymore. People ask. It's kind of collecting dust in a closet somewhere, but it's not too proud of that. But it's I enjoy the listening side of it now. So
Well, as a fellow procrastinator, I can relate to the last minute thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. And you know what? You plan for some things, right? But I found the
Right.
best things that have happened in my life have happened on those spur of the moment kind of things. So,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Picked up the trumpet. I played trumpet my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade year. And the rule in my family was you had to at least do 1 year of marching band
yeah,
in high school. Well, I was at a small school, so my 8th grade year I actually got to march with the high school band.
nice.
Um, and luckily for me, that was the year that they were going to Disney, right? You know how like high school bands always go to. So I didn't have to do it in high school. Music's not for me. It's not my thing. My wife loves music, listening to music. I always tell people I'm terrible with actors, actresses, and artists. Like I couldn't tell you anyone from anyone.
People play that game, well, she was in this, and I'm like, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah. So you got into music, got into band, went to Ohio State, was in the
Yep,
marching band,
yep.
um, got the degree in music. Did you well, first? what are some of the awesome experiences from being part of the best damn band in the land?
I'll just tell you the one quick one, but my last game was the 1997 Rose Bowl. You know, Joe Germain and the last minute drive down the field against the Arizona State Sun Devils, and the university inadvertently sold some of our seats, so there wasn't enough seats for the band. And so I plopped myself down at the corner of the end zone. So when David Boston caught the winning touchdown pass, I was just on the opposite side of the end zone. And having been at OSU during the Cooper era, there wasn't a lot of stuff, especially at the end of season, to celebrate. So it
Yeah.
was a nice way to literally sail off into the sunset. And if you've never been to the Rose Bowl and you're a sports fan, or even if you're not, I mean, it is truly one of the most spectacularly beautiful settings for an outdoor venue that you could possibly imagine. When the sun starts to set over the San Gabriel Mountains and they turn that purple hue and the sky lights up in like that bright orange, it's one of those memories I'll never forget.
I have not been out there, but the picture that you just painted, I now have to get
It's
there.
it's incredible, truly is.
So you go through college, you graduate. Kind of what was did you jump into real estate right away, or did you kind of lead me up to the career path of coming into starting real estate?
So my degree kind of left me qualified for nothing. I
Been there.
so you know I didn't go the education route, so I couldn't teach. I was more of a liberal arts, you know, kind of guy. So I ended up working for the Columbus Symphony Orchestra for was my first real job out of school, and worked in the marketing department. Was kind of their schlep that did the stuff that no one else wanted to do. I wore the Johann Sebastian Bach's mascot head on my, you know, body during kids concerts, you know, all that kind of stuff. Just learning the ropes of how to market, you know, an organization. So you know, my career kind of meandered along that path in communications and marketing, mostly nonprofit, um, some association work. My last gig before getting my real estate license, which I graduated in '97 and didn't get my license for 10 years. So from '97 to 2000, and well, and really even in 2007, I was doing real estate part time. And so my last gig was working for an organization that at the time was called Tech Columbus, and it was an incubator for startup organizations to help get them up off the ground and the mission to grow jobs in Central Ohio and for our region. And so the wonderful thing about that job was, you know, I really got to see how businesses are built, how a successful business comes from the ground up and becomes something real. And so I got to see some pretty incredible organizations, you know, doing things from like growing tracheas. You know, there was a group in the incubator that they
Wow.
were growing human tracheas to be transplanted or transplanted into people. So, you know, high tech stuff like that, and you know, lower tech stuff. And there was another one where they invented a Velcro strap that secures an IV. So instead of having the tape where you rip it off and it
Right.
makes you bleed and it hurts. So there was the whole spectrum of businesses and more IT, you know, related stuff too. But you know, seeing what it takes to be successful in the world, and being around people as innovative like that was just truly an amazing experience, and you know, one that helps set the stage for me going forward from there.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, being around I can only imagine what that would be like being around that many visionaries, you know. Uh, my team lead and my mentor is a visionary. You know, we always work well. I always tell people we worked well because he comes up with the crazy ideas, and my personality is the one that I implement the what crazy ideas we do, and I can't imagine just kind of being in that environment where it's so forward thinking. Like waking up one day and saying, "Hey, is there a way that we can grow a trachea to be able to transplant it?" And like that doesn't come to my brain. Like that doesn't work for me.
For 99.99% of people in the world would never think about that.
Yeah, yeah,
You need the people like you and like me who aren't the, you know, the engineer or the whoever it is that's creating it that knows how to do something with it. So I
yeah.
did go back to school at got an MBA. So I went back and tried to further my education. So you know that I had more to contribute to my business in the world, and so that helped. But learning from those people and kind of just I look at business and life like a puzzle. It's like you got all the pieces, you just kind of have to figure out how to put them together. And I
Yeah.
think you raised a good point is that I'm more of an introvert than I like to admit. So I would rather be able to do everything on my own in a box, but that's not the way the world works, right? You got to have connections and people who complement each other.
Yeah.
And so building a team, and all of that stuff, whether it's real estate or these science kind of related businesses, it's the same basic principles. You're just doing different things. So
Yeah. That's awesome. And